is Braves Vision.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. The Braves continue their tour of the NL East with a 4-game stop in our nation's capital to take on the Washington Nationals. And the Braves coming in hot, winners of 5 straight, having just swept the Philadelphia Phillies. Tied for the most wins in baseball, 5 straight road wins, first sweep in Philadelphia in a decade. Everything is going right for the Braves, and hopefully that will continue here in D.C. We are back. We are reunited. Brandon Gaudin, C.J. Nitkowski, great to be back with all of you. And C.J., I mentioned it, everything seems to be going so well. The pitching, #1 ERA in baseball, and it'll be Bryce Elder that gets the ball tonight for Atlanta.
This group overall has been solid, and you love coming in with a 4-game series and the opportunity to showcase all of that starting pitching as we take a look at the probables over the 4 games here in D.C. You mentioned it, Bryce Elder tonight. How about that ERA? That is the best in the National League. Ronaldo Lopez going tomorrow. He has been really good. Martin Perez, that start that he had against the Philadelphia Phillies was excellent. And, of course, the ace wrapping things up for that day game on Thursday before we go back home. Now, we talked about Bryce Elder and how good it has been for him so far this season. He slides into the rotation because of all the injuries, and he has answered the bell in a huge way as he now leads the National League with that unbelievable 0.77 ERA.
Yeah, I think one thing that maybe is getting a little lost in the shuffle, C.J., there's been so much talk about the pitching, right, and the offense. The defense for the Braves has also been exceptional.
It's been unbelievable to watch these guys when it comes to run prevention and their ability to take some of these batted balls and turn them into outs, some really tough ones. How about 10 outs above average? That is the StatCast metric that we use for defense. That is tied for best in Major League Baseball right now. The huge catch that Ronald made last night, saving that game, but we saw it throughout that series, and really, we've seen it all season long.
And in Philly, Michael Harris got hot. He was 6 for 7, a couple of homers. Wiley is going to talk with the Braves center fielder Michael Harris II when we return, as we walk you up to first pitch between the Braves and the Nationals. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet, by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. It is a chilly Monday night in D.C., but the Braves coming in hot, winners of 5 straight, and Michael Harris extremely hot. He was 6 for 7 in the series against the Phillies. That leads us to our destined Fort Walton Beach trip around the bases, and Michael Harris made 2 of those trips. A pair of homers, 6 for 7 against the Phillies in that sweep, and he is downstairs with Wiley Ballard.
Thanks, Brandon. Now joined by Michael Harris. Michael, look, things are going so well for this team. Pitching, hitting, and we're going to get to all of that, but I got to ask you, what is it like being a father? I mean, what has fatherhood been like?
I haven't had, I guess, that much of it so far. I had 2 nights, and then we came out on the road, so it's pretty fun right now. I'm getting to see him more through FaceTime, but first 2 nights weren't too bad, so can't wait to get back.
Well, can you at least tell us what it was like coming home with Tripp for the first time?
It was kind of weird because we went there without him, and then now we had to carry somebody and put him in the car and bring him in the house. So, yeah, it was kind of weird, but I'm getting used to it.
Well, when you think back at your career, it's hard to believe you've been in the show now. It's your 5th season. Your first home run came at this ballpark. When you think back to Michael Harris then to Michael Harris now, what has changed?
Not much, just that I'm older now. Same person, trying to go out there, play free, be myself. Still living the dream, still believing that it is a dream, and yeah, just going out there trying to have fun.
And then I want to ask you, what's jumped out to you about this Braves team these first few weeks? Feels like the urgency is up. How would you describe the way you guys have played as a group?
I think we're just playing loose and just having a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in the clubhouse before the game, after the game, and it's just showing on the field when we're having success as well. So I think just executing our plans and having fun at the same time is what's working.
Well, you guys were winning a lot of games. At the end of every game, we've seen you and the rest of the outfield have a little bit of a celebration. Can you tell us what is that?
It is called the Lean With It, Rock With It.
It is a dance, I would say, out of Atlanta. I think, yeah. to dance.
I mean, it's them franchise boys. I mean, this is my generation, right? I mean, that is the snap rap era.
Yeah.
So
I thought more people would know about it, but
well, hey, look,
that's what we're here to ask the questions and I answer them. So yeah,
we're here to spread the gospel. Okay, so can I get you to grade my lean with it, rock with it snap?
I got you.
All right, you ready? All right, here we go. What do you got?
I give it an 8.5.
Woo! 8.5. Let me tell you, it's not a 10, but it's a lot higher than everybody else thought it was going to be when they told me to do it. So I appreciate that.
A lot better than Ronnie. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, have you ever seen somebody doing a quarter zip, by the way?
Never.
Yeah, first time. Might be the last time. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate the time.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Well, we got plenty more coming for you on Braves Vision. Unfortunately, no more of my dancing. So we appreciate you suffering through that. And again, we got more Braves baseball coming up next.
This is game 1 of 4 out in Washington. The Braves are looking for their 6th straight win after sweeping the Phillies in a 3-game set over the weekend. Let's take a look at the National League East standings. The Braves have a 5-game lead over the Marlins and the Nationals. The Phillies and the Mets are struggling at the bottom of the division. NL East, by the way, is the only division where the lead is more than 1 game. Atlanta's been that good. Welcome to our studio in Atlanta. Peter Moylan, Nick Green here with you. And Peter, this NL East is kind of wild. Everybody expected the Braves to be much better. They have been. But to look down and see the Phillies and the Mets not playing well is kind of weird.
Don't hate it, honestly. I'll be honest with you. But this was the only division where all 5 teams started off 1-0. But since then, it's all been about the Bravos, obviously. I think when you look at the Marlins and when you look at the Nats, you see very similar rosters. I think Nationals might have a little bit more pop in their lineup. But for me, they know, you know how they're going to try and beat you. They're going to be pesky. They're going to grind out at bats. They may struggle on the pitching side, but their offense has been great. And as far as the other 2 teams, Phillies and the Mets have lost 11 in a row. The clubhouse seems to be in tatters. Obviously, there's a big piece missing there with Juan Soto. Same with the Phillies. They're looking to get Zach Wheeler back at some point as well. But for me, it's just been a great run. Yeah,
this is a Liberty Mutual Field coverage. Braves lead the Major League Baseball in runs scored and team ERA. The Mets minus 43 run difference. Well, that's not going to cut it. Phillies record's worst start since 2015, and everybody else is just like Marlins, Washington maybe, but I don't know. Anyway, the Braves are all we care about, right? The Braves are looking for their 16th win of the season. It'll be Bryce Elder versus Jake Irvin. First pitch is coming up next.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. It's that simple. By Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. There is a look at Nationals Park on this Monday night, this chilly Monday night. It is 50 degrees, supposed to get down to the mid-30s way later, but it'll be in the 40s for this ball game. And here is the lineup for Atlanta, presented by Racetrack. Of course, the Braves coming in on a 5-game win streak, just having swept the Phillies in Philly. And Acuna, Baldwin, and Olsen will be the first 3 for Walt Weiss and company tonight. And opposing that lineup is the 29-year-old 6'6" righty Jake Irvin.
I'm sorry, did you say 30s? Oh my goodness. So Jake Irvin, interesting guy, got really long extension. The fastball jumps on you, even though it's not big-time velocity. But he's had some struggles so far this year.
Yeah, the first inning has been an issue for him. It was a huge issue last year. He had over a 9 ERA in the first inning. And those troubles have kind of crept into 2026 for Jake Irvin.
I feel like we're having that conversation a lot. I mean, again, it exists certainly in baseball, and it's something you want to take advantage of.
Ronald Acuna, ball and 2 strikes. Of course, Ronald had that great catch off the bat of Schwarber yesterday to secure the sweep in the 4-2 win in Philly.
So I wonder if it's a mind game here for Irvin. It's okay. It's cold. You can see guys got the neck warmers on, and Irvin's out there with no sleeves. I'm trying to show off a little bit, maybe intimidate. I don't know.
The 2-2 pitch from him, and he is able to get 95 by Acuna for the first out. CJ, is weather included in your Ford Keys?
Shockingly, no, believe it or not. How about the swinging Braves? A good opportunity here against the Washington Nationals because their starting pitching has really struggled, really all of their pitching, but the starters in particular with an ERA over 6. And you got to play the hand that you're dealt. There are 6 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight for Bryce Elder. That works for him because he's handled lefties very well this year.
And the Braves have a lefty up there right now in Drake Baldwin. So it's not only the fact that the temperatures are about to dip through the 40s, also 15-mile-per-hour winds could get up to 20 miles per hour at times. So that's something to keep an eye on as well.
Not a problem for our Wisconsin guy, though, right here. This is midsummer.
Yeah, he was made for these days. The former hockey star Drake Baldwin. And Baldwin hits it high into the air out towards Young. The talented captain of the outfield makes the catch. CarShield defense, Lyle and Wood left and right alongside Jacob Young. Change this year, they move Luis Garcia Jr., who struggled at second base, over to first base, and that makes Nunez the everyday guy at second. It is not a sellout tonight here at Nationals Park.
Sure?
There are still a few seats to be had if you're in the area. It's one of those nights where you're going to hear every cheer from the fans that are here in attendance.
It's a heckler's delight. And tonight's your night. If you have something to say and you want to be heard, come on down to Nationals Park. We will hear you.
She seats over 41,000, but jokes aside, there can't be more than 5 in here right now. Matt Olson had his 11-game hit streak end yesterday. He awaits a 1-2 pitch as Irvin seeks a 1-2-3 first. And that slider just misses and no challenge.
And I think probably a good idea, right? You get used to certain things, or you try to almost convince an umpire to make the call with the body language. Both guys, the pitcher and the catcher, making their way toward the dugout, but that was a ball.
But Irvin gets the comebacker underhand toss to Garcia. And for a guy who struggles in the first inning, Irvin with a good start tonight. Braves go in order in the top of the first in front of a light crowd tonight in D.C. Bottom of the first, James Wood will lead it off. The lineup brought to you by Racetrack. Wood and Abrams have carried the water so far for this Nationals lineup, which has been scoring a lot of runs. We'll see if Bryce Elder can hold them down tonight.
It's going to be all about that slider, I think, and cutter. We know, of course, the cutter exclusively to the lefties. The slider has been excellent so far this year for Bryce Elder. And again, this is a good hitting team, and a couple of guys that have been swinging the bats well certainly can get to the fastball. So selective use in good locations.
That ERA leads the National League. Just 2 earned runs given up so far this season through 4 starts for number 55. Thought the Nationals would have a serviceable offense this year, CJ, but to see them second in runs behind the Braves, at least in total runs, is a little bit of a surprise.
No doubt it's a surprise. Some guys have really stepped up. You go to a younger manager, you change a lot of things, but
what a play at short. Mateo getting the start instead of Dubon tonight, and a tremendous effort to get Wood.
Well, you're not kidding. I thought this was a base hit off the bat. It was loud. It was 107 miles an hour, and get a little jump there from the mound as well. But heads up by Mateo. First of all, to get there, lay out, but then no, he does not have enough time to get up and throw that baseball. He's got to do it from his knees, and it's a one-hop bullet over to Matt Olson.
Tremendous play for Dubon, just a day off, nothing else. So good to see Mateo out there making a spectacular play to start things here in the bottom of inning number 1.
So we highlighted the defense in the open and how good it has been, and why not go ahead and kick it off here in this 4-game series with just a plus play there from Mateo.
Yeah, and the other thing we said in the opener, as I teed you up for it, CJ, there's been so much talk, understandably, about the Braves offense and the Braves pitching, top ERA in baseball, but that defense, that third piece, has really kind of held everything together.
Not just playing good defense, but if there is such a thing, clutch defense that we have seen in big spots. There were a handful of innings in that Philadelphia Phillies series where the Phillies had opportunities, and it seemed like a big play or a big pitch here and there, and the Braves ultimately were able to put out that fire. And Mauricio Dubon seems to be enjoying this weather.
He's like, could I not give it a 75-degree off day? Garcia puts it in the air, foul ground, and there's Austin Riley. CarShield defense. So the usual outfield that we've been seeing for the Lions' share of this season. But again, that one change, Mateo, the captain of the infield tonight.
Walt's talked about it a couple of times, and we certainly have noticed it, how strong the bench is. And then we knew that kind of coming in. Showed up a little bit more maybe than expected because of the Kim injury. But that's a luxury, right? To be able to have a deep bench the way that the Braves have right now, knowing more reinforcements are coming, which means that bench only gets stronger as the season goes on.
Yeah, Ha-Seong Kim getting closer. He'll play a simulated game on Thursday as he works his way back. No official timeline, but somewhere around mid-May is probably likely. Young 22-year-old here, Brady House. That one goes foul. CJ mentioned how young this staff is now with the turnover for the Nationals. Blake Butera, 33 years old. He is the youngest big league skipper since the early 70s.
So, I mean, it is amazing. Now the game in general is trending younger, but not a lot of people knew who he was. And clearly for the Nationals, they wanted him to be the guy going forward.
Yeah, last decade in the Rays organization for Butera. First as a player, then a minor league manager, then the director of player development, and then the Nationals pluck him away from that organization to bring him to DC. This one will get up the middle. 2-out single for Brady House.
Slider here from Bryce Elder in a 2-strike count. And we see that one kind of going straight down. It looked like Drake Baldwin wanted a little bit more of the side to side to try to get it down and away, but it's a 2-out ground ball. No harm.
It does bring up C.J. Abrams, who is off to a tremendous start this year with 6 homers and 19 driven in.
He has gone off so far this year, and I think maybe a little bit of that wake-up call. He's got all the talent in the world. We talk about it a lot. Local guy from Alpharetta, but the defense has also been improved. But this bat has been something special. And you look at him, he doesn't necessarily look like a guy who would be prototypical middle of your order, but he's got great bat speed, he's got great bat to ball skills, and he's got pop in there.
5th year in the bigs, but still pretty young. At 25 is C.J. Abrams. Elder falling behind, 3-0. So a 4-pitch walk, 2 on, 2 out.
As good as Bryce Elder has been against lefties, and he has been great, just a 151 batting average against, the walk rate is pretty high. It's been right around or just under 12% for him. He's not walked a righty yet this season of the 31 that he has faced.
You got Lyle coming from the left side here, and that's 5 straight misses for number 5-5.
Interesting, right? We talk about leverage for challengers. Did you use them early? That might have been a good spot for Lyle to use one. The difference between 1-1 and 2-0.
And Lyle, another young guy in this young organization, made his debut middle of 2025, had an incredible September to end the season, trying to carry that over this year as he swings through the Elder slider.
He's an exciting young player. He brings some intensity to his game, played some pretty good defense. You see him out in the base pass, and he runs them like he's got his hair on fire.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. And the count runs full. Jacob Young would be next. Elder trying to end it right here. Ahead of it, foul. Nationals 2 games under 500 coming into this series. 10-12 got their first shutout of the season yesterday. A 3-0 win over the Giants. And they have loaded the bases here against Bryce Elder. A single and back-to-back walks.
Well, clearly for Bryce Elder, he did not want to give in with a fastball in that situation to Lyle. And he's hit the fastball extremely well. He's hit right-handed pitching extremely well. And now he gets a visit from his pitching coach.
Jacob Young will be the batter. I don't want to overplay the weather too much because it's not 30 degrees, but it is right now in the upper 40s. How much does that affect a pitcher?
It absolutely does. And I wondered, too, because we saw some misses up, and then the adjustments looked like maybe overcorrections where they were down there, right? To Lyle below the zone. He chased one of those, but Bryce Elder was trying again. So you worry about, and depending on how you're built, the slickness of your hands, right? That's the big one. The grip on the baseball, does that change, right? You can't lick your hands and be on the mound unless you kind of wipe off. And so you have to find ways to create some moisture in those hands so that that grip can be where you want it to be. And for some guys, they like the rosin in this spot. Others don't. Sometimes it can make it worse. You see him there. There's a little wipe of the hand after the throw and then blowing on his hand, which you're allowed to do, and the umpires will let you know. And I'm certain that a night like tonight, it's okay to blow on your hand while you're standing on the mound.
Bases loaded, jam. There's a strike, 1-1 to Jacob Young. Line drive to right, it will drop. And it's going to score a couple. All of this with 2 outs, and the Nationals take a 2-0 lead in the first.
And the walks coming back to bite Bryce Elder here, and Young's a pretty good contact hitter. We know he's a great defender. The offense has been better. That fastball for Drake Baldwin, he wants it down and he wants it away, and catching a little bit too much of the plate elevated as Young just kind of pokes it there to the right side.
So through his first 4 starts, Bryce Elder only gave up 2 earned runs, and now he's given up 2 here in the first inning tonight against the Nationals. And the DH Tana comes up swinging. You can see he's also off to a good start. Not an everyday guy, 15 games, but hitting .364. Close, but Young is back.
Nope.
Close too, but that's the second disengagement now.
He hasn't run a lot, just 1 stolen base here so far for Jacob Young, but we know he's got really good speed. But Bryce Elder has only allowed 1 stolen base this year.
Already the 30th pitch of the ball game for Elder. It's a good one, a fastball 0-2. Bryce normally so good at getting ahead of hitters, but first 6 guys he threw a ball to in this game. He does get ahead of Tena here, his 7th batter that he's faced in this first inning. Young takes off. It will not matter. Elder ends the frame with a strikeout, but the Nationals draw first blood. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Beautiful shots here around our nation's capital. Brandon, CJ, and Wiley coming at you from Nationals Park on this Monday night. First of 4 between the Braves and the Nats. Well, Atlanta's had to work from behind in several wins this year. They'll have to do it again tonight. Riley sharp grounder to third. House settles himself and throws across, 1 away.
Now, you don't mind the 1 hop, but for House, it seemed like he didn't want to take very many chances. This was a 2-hop throw across the infield. You do it with intent, sometimes to make it a little bit easier on yourself, get the nice long hop for your first baseman, but that one looked like it caught the ground almost a second time.
Former high school pitcher, the young 22-year-old over there with a really good arm. Coming up swinging, Ozzie Albies out to right center, but over to cut it off is James Wood. And there are 2 away. So a couple of quick outs for Jake Irvin. See if Michael can be the first Brave to reach tonight, coming off a tremendous series against the Phillies where he was 6 for 7 with 2 homers, and he also drew a couple of walks.
And now a dance instructor here for the Atlanta Braves as he helped Wiley kind of get his act together.
Yeah, if
the
you
best he possibly could.
If you missed it pregame, do yourself a favor. Get on the Braves Vision social media channels and check out Wiley dancing, which Michael said was an 8.5 out of 10. Sharply to second. And a very quick top of the second. If you missed it, you're going to get it right now in all its glory.
Hide your eyes.
Zip it all. You need the sleeves and the hats here tonight. Temperatures dropping through the 40s as the ball game continues. And Bryce Elder, it's tough for Bryce. You throw 32 pitches in the first inning, and in the top of the second, Irvin only threw 6.
Ooh.
And then Riley cannot make the play there on the pop off the bat of Millis.
It's a tough one there. You got some wind that you're dealing with, but also just the angle for Austin Riley, right? You're thinking about, do I have enough room? As you see him look down, and he overran it and tried to correct, but unfortunately could not.
So new life for the catcher Millis.
But you're right, and think about that first inning too for Bryce Elder, where he had the first 2 outs, I think, in 9 pitches, had a chance to maybe have a quick one that gets away from him. And we always say it on the other side, right? Keep the pressure on the opponent, try to have a quick inning. Irvin was able to do that.
Yeah, so very, very little rest for Elder with that 6-pitch top of the second. And now 8-9-1 here in the bottom half. And a called strike. It is a fitting night for some frozen pizza here in D.C. Millis is down looking.
Well, you know, I say it all the time. This is my favorite Bryce Elder pitch, the front door 2-seam fastball. And that is a beauty right there as it comes back and catches the inside corner.
So he got Tena swinging to end the first. Millis looking to start the second. Now Nunez. With the Nationals moving Luis Garcia from second base to first base, that opened a door for this guy, Nasim Nunez, to get an everyday role for the first time in his young big league career at second base. Two balls and 2 strikes. See, I wouldn't want to cover my mouth because then the moisture just gets trapped.
I would agree. And if you didn't brush your teeth before the game, could be even worse.
Or if you took down that burger you did right before first pitch.
Just get to taste it all game.
You know, we really are a good tandem, CJ. You ate the burger, I ate the fries.
Right.
It's just like an old married couple up here.
Instead of shake and bake, we're burger and fries.
Oh, missed you last night, but that was tremendous. Did you have a lot of fun with that?
It was fun, yeah. You know, nobody likes change. Listen, it's good to be there for the Braves game. Obviously in a big spot and late, and watch them finish off the Phillies and get that sweep. First time in 10 years that they had swept the Philadelphia Phillies in Philly in a 3-game series.
And you had the mid-game wardrobe change from the suit jacket to the Braves jacket.
Yeah, listen, I brought it. I wasn't sure how they would feel about it. And the one thing about, Jason Benetti, I'm thinking, okay, this is national. We're going to be all serious. He's like, do whatever you want to do. So I just went and put it on. And it was really just to keep me warm because it was chilly last night. Nothing like it is here. And then, so anytime we have what we call a snoop cam, when they show us in the booth, always Gretchen will get in our ear, right, and say on camera. Yeah, they didn't tell us that. So when I went on with my jacket, I'm reaching down in my bag to get something. John Kruk looked like he was taking a nap on the table. I was like, hey, how about a heads up?
Hi, everybody. Better inning by Elder. Sun about to set here in D.C. as we start the 3rd inning. 2-0 Nationals. And so far for Irvin, 6 up and 6 down. Now both of these offenses have been providing a lot of pop. That leads us to our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature as we look at the MLB ranks for both teams offensively.
And so we expect, even though it is a little bit chilly here, maybe we see some fireworks offensively on both sides. It is the area right now where the Nationals have been the strongest. There have been some struggles on the pitching side, but they have hit very well.
Certainly this guy has hit well. Dom Smith. He's found a home in the 7th spot in the Braves order, and that's where he is again tonight.
I'll tell you, there's been a couple of calls here from Eric Bacchus that guys have not liked, that they haven't challenged, and I think Dom Smith would have had a pretty good challenge there on the first pitch, but he didn't want to do it.
Dom Smith out to center. Young drifting, but he will have room out there.
And what will be interesting to keep an eye on, again, is the conversation we have in understanding an umpire's tendencies. And will that give you a little bit more confidence to go ahead and say, yeah, I know he's tight here. I know he's big here. And you can see inside. Now, this is the overall. So that red up and in to lefties up and away is where he does get a little bit big. And that pitch Dom Smith was in. He's a little bit tighter down in the zone. But that red area on the left side gets even bigger when it's left-handed hitters only. And I think that's why Dom Smith probably had a case.
Eric Bacchus, a Maryland native back there, calling the balls and strikes at 36 years old. And he rules that a strike to Mateo. Mateo tries to line it to right here, but it's foul.
So we saw at times, at least what seemed like for the Phillies, that the ball didn't carry that well, right? And kind of the temperatures and the wind that we were dealing with in Philadelphia. It feels like tonight could be one of those nights as well that you're going to really have to get it out of the ballpark.
Jake Irvin, as we have discussed during his starts last year and tonight, he is prone to giving up the homer. You go back to last year and he allowed 38 of them. That was the most in Major League Baseball.
Up.
And even the year before that, he really struggled giving up the homer as well. The third inning tonight is brought to you by our friends at Audi. Experience the all-new Audi Q3 at your local Atlanta area Audi dealer today. Called strike on the corner, and Mateo, he put his hand towards his helmet, but he did not challenge it.
I'll tell you what, it looked like he kind of challenged it, and nobody debating it. I think he got away with one here because I believe this pitch was in the zone. It's a two-seam fastball. It's going to come back, and that very much contemplated. It's like the old one used to stick your hand out to shake somebody's hand, and just kind of go back. And no, I was just wanting to fix my hair. You might hear about that one.
I was going to say the exact same thing. That is exactly what that looked like.
These poor guys, man. Like the time that they have, we laugh about it, but the time they have to think about it is not a lot. And again, you got to be careful not getting caught up in the emotion.
And it was a good pitch by Jake Irvin, who now has 2 strikeouts. Yaz hitting 9th tonight.
Good movement on that two-seam fastball tonight. And coming into this one for Jake Irvin, the batting average against it at 308, an OPS at 950. He'd had some issues with his two-seam fastball, but it is dancing here, much like Wiley Ballard this evening. You might rename that pitch to Ballard.
You would think on paper coming into tonight, oh, this looks good for the Braves. Obviously, such a great offense, and Jake Irvin and his struggles over the last couple of years, but so far he's retired all 8 Braves he's faced. And it's 9 up and 9 down for Jake Irvin. A surprising start for the 29-year-old here tonight. 2-0 Nats as we head to the bottom of the third, and we also head downstairs to Wiley Ballard with our Buick GMC Field Report.
Yes, Brendan. Well, one of the storylines today was Bryce Elder getting the start. Of course, at one point it was going to be Ronaldo Lopez, but gives Ronaldo an extra day and also keeps Bryce on regular rest. And when I spoke with Walt Weiss about that decision, he mentioned 2 things. One, it keeps Bryce in his rhythm. He really likes that routine. And secondly, there is an old adage about sinker ballers wanting to pitch a little tired, right? And CJ, I know you're familiar with that. But for what it's worth, over Bryce's 5 years in the big leagues now, his sinker and his slider both have more vertical depth when he has regular rest as opposed to extra rest.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with being tired. I am often. No, but you're absolutely right. And you don't want the extra rest if the extra day is there. You don't want a sinker ball pitcher feeling live, because a lot of times you end up, we use the phrase, kind of throwing through the movement a little bit, because you do feel good with the extra time. So there are certain guys that are much better off on regular and even short rest sometimes. We don't see short rest really anymore, but if a spot were to come up and say Bryce Elder's coming off an outing where he hadn't thrown a lot of pitches, you could do that if you wanted to, especially if you feel like it benefits the rest of the rotation. Well, and I give Lopez days off whenever you can get them.
That's what I was just going to say. If there's a guy to give an extra day to, it's probably Reynaldo Lopez. Slap towards short, and Mateo makes a play to get Garcia. Reminder, the third inning tonight brought to you by Audi. Experience the all-new Audi Q3 at your local Atlanta area Audi dealer. Antoine Richardson down there, though, really stole Wiley's thunder during that on-camera appearance. So.
Looked like he was ready to get under center with all the stuff he had. Had the hand warmers there in the front. I don't think he is enjoying this weather either. He's from Bahamas, right? Where was he born? I'm going to go look that up real quick. It's not like that. It doesn't get like this in the Bahamas, I don't think.
And he was in New York for quite a long time.
Yeah.
There's Antoine Richardson.
He should be used to it by now. Yeah, he was born in Nassau.
Just looks like a Green Bay Packer quarterback out there right now.
He's tired of Wiley getting camera time, so he's trying to block it the best he can.
Wiley's got that nice City Connect jacket on tonight down there, looking solid.
So we found out Wiley's going to have a little, I don't call it sideline competition, because of course Wiley also does a nice job analyzing. But tomorrow night, Kevin Franson, who does television for the Nats, is going to be down in the well on the other side. So I feel like it's kind of sort of a battle.
And go talk to Walt Weiss, get some tips.
Yes. A little more frozen pizza. Brady House down looking, and that is 4 strikeouts now for Elder, and 3 of those have been looking.
Yeah, he's got really good command of this side of the play right now with the 2-seam fastball. When you have it, it just opens up so many more things for Bryce Elder. As much as this slider has been exciting to watch, and the addition of the cutter, for me, that is still the most important pitch, is that 2-seam fastball.
And then there's the good slider to Abrams. Abrams puts it in the air towards Yastrzemski. So Elder has settled in, and he has now retired the last 7. Washington Monument here in D.C. Game 1, 4, and we go to the 4th inning. 2-0 Nationals. Everybody bundled up on a chilly night for baseball. Jake Irvin is perfect through 3 innings. We'll see if Acuna and the Braves can change that here in the 4th. Now that guy doesn't care what the temperature is.
Nope. Lips are already blue, but not because it's cold. It's all about the cotton candy.
He is double fisting the pretzel and the cotton candy. Ooh. Hopefully it got Ronald on that protective pad. It looked like it might have. But when it's cold and it's coming in like that, certainly you still feel it.
And this was the 4-seamer, and it's 92 miles an hour. But you mentioned it, a night like tonight. Now, the way that moved, almost like it was a 2, but it registered as a 4. It might have been a miss. But yeah, it catches a lot of that pad, but it doesn't mean that Ronald doesn't feel it. And guys are ready, and a night like tonight are a little bit more aware in, because they don't want to get jammed. Just gets even more uncomfortable on these kind of nights. And then you get hit by a pitch, and it's just going to make you mad.
So that is how the Braves get their first base runner. And now Baldwin. Drake still top 5 in baseball with 19 runs driven in.
So Millis has a pretty strong arm behind the plate tonight, where he can get it up to about 86 miles an hour, which is a big number by catcher standards. But he's only thrown out 1 of 7 so far here early in the season.
He's splitting time back there with Keibert Ruiz, the longtime National. Jake Irvin pitch count in a pretty good spot right now. This will be his 40th. Oh, they got Acuna. So after getting hit by the pitch, he is quickly erased.
See that aggressive secondary leading. I think for Ronald, kind of taking a chance there, right, and trying to predict a little bit where a pitcher is going to go. And I think Ronald thought he was getting ready to throw home, but the longer holds, a lot of times that's going to mess up even your good base runners.
So 1 down and a 2-1 pitch coming to Baldwin. Liner. This one's going to find the grass. Young over to cut it off to hold Baldwin to a single. So the first hit tonight belongs to Drake Baldwin, and that leads us to our Truist leaderboard. with Baldwin and Olsen batting 2-3 in the order. Look at most combined bases by National League teammate duos, and you also have Wood and Abrams right behind them.
Yep, tied with Cruz and Lowe there with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but as our guys on top here and batting back-to-back, right? That's the other part of it, is that you're getting Drake Baldwin and Matt Olson, and it's a 1-2 punch right now that has been extremely dangerous in the National League.
Yeah, Walt Weiss has talked a lot about how he has constructed this lineup, the reasons for it, and there really are no holes. Even when you think about bringing relievers in late in the game, the way it is structured, it's just tough for any opposing manager to try to go against this lineup.
It's been really fun to listen to him talk about that. You know, we look at lineups sometimes, we think about strategy, we think we know what we're talking about, and then you listen to Walt, and it's like another level of not just the way that they stack the lineup, but then also how they're thinking about potential pinch hitters and when they want to go and when they don't, and what does the bullpen look like, who do we like out of their opposing bullpen, where our matchups can be, and so that will certainly dictate some of the decisions that they make. A lot goes into it, and it's worked out extremely well. The big ones, Drake Baldwin at 2 and Ozzie at 3 against lefties, has been incredible this season.
Irvin is falling behind 3-1.
Going back to the lineup, guys, and one of the reasons Mike Yastrzemski is down to that 9 spot today was trying to keep him away from those pockets of left-handed hitters. You look at Harris and Smith there in 6-7, Baldwin, Olsen 2-3. So that was one of the reasons why Walt wanted Yaz in the 9 spot tonight, was to protect him a little bit.
They have 5 lefties in their bullpen here in Washington, and so that becomes a part of it as well. Right, we go play the Arizona Diamondbacks. They don't have any, and so you can kind of set the lineup exactly the way that you want. But here in D.C., it's only 3 righties compared to the 5 lefties, so that dictates things a little bit differently as well.
And it's a bullpen like their starting rotation that has had its issues. Matt Olson drives it to center field. Young at the wall. This game is tied. On a chilly night in D.C., Matt takes it to straightaway center, and it's 2-2.
We told you on a night like tonight you were going to have to get all of it. Matt Olson got all of this 2-seam fastball. Still some pretty good movement, but catching a lot of the plate with Matt Olson ahead in the count, and he let it fly and drilled this thing. 109 off the bat, 419 on the distance to tie it up.
That's now 71 homers allowed by Jake Irvin over the last 2+ seasons. That is the most in baseball in that span. Didn't think a 2-0 lead for the Nationals would be enough, and just like that, it is not. Now here's Austin Riley, who has 3 homers over his last 4 games. He grounded out back in the 2nd. Close, but outside, and a 3-2 count to Riley. They got him to go after the slider.
It's a pretty good one, too. It almost looks like a sweeper, right? The difference in the 2 sliders that you're seeing tonight with Bryce Elder going straight down, and then here with Irvin, a lot more horizontal on it, and it works both ways.
He's using that pitch along with his cutter more this year. Some of the changes that he's made, that he lowered his arm slot a little bit, which he's done over the last few years, and he's changed his delivery a bit to try to be more athletic. Diving stop. There's some athleticism from Garcia to end the top of the 4th. But Matty O ties us up.
Wondered if it was going to be easy tonight. It's been easy for Matt Olson all season long as he goes to dead center to get things tied up here with the Washington Nationals.
Well, we're getting all your good DC shots in here on a Monday night. Brandon, CJ, and Wiley back with you, and this ball is hit well to right. Acuna is going to watch it go. Solo blast for Lyle, and just like that, the Nationals back in front. Elder had retired 7 straight, but Lyle changes that.
He goes with that first pitch slider, and you can see it in the middle of the plate, maybe thinking about, can I get this first pitch strike, get ahead a little bit. Lyle didn't let it go by. We mentioned how aggressive this guy is, and what a catch out there by the bullpen catcher with his hat.
So that's now 3 earned runs for Elder tonight. Remember, came in with only 2 total through 4 starts on the season. Mateo takes care of business and gets Young. Trying to look up who that was that made that catch out there in their bullpen. That was pretty impressive.
Not just with the hat, which by itself is tough, but also kind of the angle in which he caught. He was turned a little bit sideways, and it's a risky proposition on a night like tonight, because if you're wrong and it catches you on the hand, it's going to hurt quite a bit.
I think it's Cionel Perez out there.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is a heck of a grab. Well, maybe the Braves will hit one out there in the 5th, and he can try it again.
Let's keep him busy.
He is staying busy.
So that's Perez. Wait, didn't he have gear on? Did I not see him with? I thought he had shin guards on.
No.
Oh, so it wasn't the bullpen catcher.
No,
but
by the first look of it, I thought it might have been as well.
Okay, that's what got me. I'm like, wait a minute. Cionel Perez is a pitcher.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing shin guards? All right. Yeah, or unless.
It's the socks.
Oh, he just had the high. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, even riskier than for a pitcher, but smart to do it with your glove hand. And the pride, my goodness.
Tana lines out. Here's Millis.
Cutter tonight, there's been kind of a consistent miss from Bryce Elder where they've been up. They've kind of stayed in the outer third tonight. The best use of that pitch for me with him is to keep these lefties honest, where he kind of throws it inside, even backs them off to open up for the sinker away.
Mateo charges, and after giving up the homer, Elder gets the next 3 to send us to the 5th.
Chilly night here in the nation's capital. Nationals with a 3-2 lead over the Braves. Michael Harris leading off the top of the 5th. And let's take a look at our Zaxby's. Who's got the sauce? It is Michael Harris in his road numbers this year, hitting .355, OPS over 1,000. And some of the secret recipe, guys, might be that ski mask he wore last night. Drake Baldwin came out during batting practice today, fully swallowed up by his ski mask, saying, hey, if Michael Harris got 3 hits doing that, I'm about to try it out.
That's how this game works. Whatever it takes, whatever a guy is doing, even if there's zero science behind it, even if it doesn't make any sense, if it works for you and you had a good night, I'm going to try it.
And in the pregame interview with Wiley, it looked like Michael Harris just got off the slopes.
That's right.
Look at on the ski goggles and hoodie.
It's ready for a champagne celebration in the clubhouse.
In on the hands. Wiley also asked him about being a new father, what it's been like, and obviously when he's gone on the road where he has been hitting well. A lot of FaceTime calls back to little Trip and wife Esther. making sure he can be there for as many moments as possible.
Yeah, and quite honestly, when they're that little, and I think Michael, in a way, kind of alluded to it, he's like, yeah, it's not a lot there right now and not a lot going on. And as they get a little bit older and there's more kind of talking back and the baby talk and everything else, and you start to have an impact and create some fun memories.
Yeah, I've been told from others like yourself that in the first couple of months you realize how small the male contribution to life is.
I mean, I wasn't even there when my third one was born. I was on the other side of the world, and he doesn't hold it against me at all. He still asks me for money all the time.
Off the end of the bat. And Michael 0 for 2 tonight. More folks have filed in here, but still, given the weather and a Monday night, pretty light crowd here on April 20th. Dom Smith, hard hit. He smokes it to right, and he's 1 for 2.
We talked about his ability to get to those fastballs that are at the top or even above the strike zone. This is actually a slider, but with the type of swing you get from Dom Smith, he likes it up there, right? It's a level swing, which lends itself to good contact at the very top of the zone. He obviously is comfortable going after those pitches that are up and getting the barrel to him. 104.
1 on, 1 out, and now Mateo. Jake Irvin is yet to go past 5 innings in any of his starts this year, but this will only be his 60th pitch tonight. Grounder on his second for 1, and they got both. 6-4-3, and just like that, Smith is erased, so is Mateo, so are the Braves. We are halfway home. Join the Braves for May's Kids Club Day, Sunday, May 17th. Look at those glasses. First 3,000 kids through the gates will get those. Go to Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. And by the way, this is a real reason to get your kid involved. Our very own Wiley Bowder will be teaching a kids-only scorebook keeping class.
Ooh.
So, I mean, now they're going to be sold out instantly.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, the kid we showed is perfect for those glasses, right? It just looked like with the spiked hair, the glasses would go really well. And you said it, and I maybe emphasize it again. This is a kids-only class. Only children can attend the Wiley class. I know others may be interested as well, but there's an age limit.
Yeah, you're right. Put those Braves glasses on that young man. He'll be ready. Put him in the game.
It's a serious kid. If he's got his hands in his pocket, you know you're dealing with a serious kid.
Right next to the crew that's all bundled up there under the Nationals blanket. I assume he's with them. I don't think he bought a ticket for himself.
That was a good night to catch a ball game. Hopped on his scooter.
Nunez flies to Harris.
You were talking about the attendance here and obviously where we are as far as the weather and everything else goes. I didn't realize this, never put much thought into it, but thinking about the Washington Nationals when they won their championship, their World Series in 2019, they didn't get the benefit from the bump because the next year was COVID. There was no fans, right? You kind of get that after a World Series year. They had 2.2 million fans that year. They haven't gone above that since because you pretty much are starting over. And at that point, they really started to struggle. And once they opened the doors again, they were a last place team and had under 1.5 million fans. So they missed out on that part.
Yeah, you think of how quick that went from being at the top of the mountain, right center and deep. Harris sizes it up at the wall and makes the grab. Great catch out in center for Money Mike.
It's been so consistent throughout his career, but this team in particular this year has been showing up in big ways. And Michael had it measured, leaps at the right time, and another great catch out in center field.
Looks like a superhero out there, all covered up. Elder appreciates it. 2 down. But what I was going to say is how quick that turnaround was. You win the World Series. They haven't had a winning season since 2019. In fact, their record since then is 364 and 528. And it has just felt like a constant rebuild.
And now big changes, right? So it's almost like, not that you're completely restarting that process over, because some of the guys were in the middle of it, but you bring in new executives at the top, you bring in a new manager, a new coaching staff, new philosophies. And so some of the guys that were in the rebuild, and C.J. Abrams, I think, is a good example, that they may come to him with some different ideas and how they want him to go about his game. And the one thing we've talked about using him as an example is some of the struggles defensively, where he has not rated well at all as a shortstop near the bottom in baseball. But also, we get to see these guys a lot more here, and the preparation never looked great. Apparently that has changed, and they've kind of gotten to him a little bit, and so far it's been a really great year.
And Elder, after the struggles in the first inning, did give up the homer, but he has retired 13 of the last 14 now.
There goes that big slider once again from Big Texas. Good location down and in to get the punchy.
You got it in. That water better be careful. There is a freeze warning tonight.
Oh.
The D.C. area temperature's going to get down to 30, 46 right now.
Let's turn that thing off right now.
Yeah, prevent it. Nationals 3-2, 9-1-2 for Atlanta here, starting with Yastrzemski against Irvin. So it's the first time this year that Irvin has worked beyond the 5th inning. But he's been efficient. He had the 6-pitch inning in the second. Only took him 8 pitches to get through the 5th.
And so that gives him the chance. Now the Nationals, I'm thinking about trying to win this game. This will be interesting, right? As they, at least will they have the lead for now, and how they start to treat their bullpen, because you mentioned it, there have been some struggles down there as well. Not a lot of swing and miss in the bullpen. But you also have a guy in Irvin who's having a rough year, so you probably don't want to take too many chances. Hasn't had the opportunity to face the lineup a third time very much at all. Just 14 at-bats this year, third time through.
They do have the lefty Brad Lord getting ready. And now double barrel action has started. I should say the righty Lord. So righty and lefty throwing. 3-2 here to Yastrzemski.
When you think about not only just going through an order a second time, or third time I should say, but this order in particular, right, with Ronald and Baldwin and Olson, that is a tough group to have to face a third time, and that's why Butera wants multiple options.
In and out of the glove of Nunez, and a wide throw. And it goes into the dugout, and Yastrzemski will be in scoring position to start the 6th.
He'll take it. That's a thing of beauty right there. He has no doubt frustrated when he saw this off the bat. But the backhand from Nunez, and then making it worse by trying to rush the throw, and it wasn't even close. The defense has been an issue here for the Washington Nationals. Already came in leading baseball with 21, make it 22 errors now.
And Acuna, 25 career homers against the Nats. The only team he's hit more against, the Marlins. So Jake Irvin starting to go through the lineup for the 3rd time. Tying run at second, and he hits Acuna again. And this one got him around the hand. And Ronald with a long look out at Jake Irvin.
That's real frustration for Ronald. We know teams try to pitch him in, but you can't miss twice. And this one was significantly worse. Again, it's a 4-seamer, but it's got run. And it gets him on the hand, and it's cold. And, of course, he gets super concerned about that. Getting some work done right now and running through some tests to see how that feels there for Ronald.
The one that he got hit by in the 4th inning got him on the protective pad on his left arm. Athletic trainer George Poulos just checking him out, making sure he's okay.
They do those things right. It's basically the strength test, and you're gripping and you're feeling in different ways, and you're trying to get a feel were there any potential fractures or breaks in there. You're going to see this ball run up and in on Ronald, and yeah, oof. See where that protective gear kind of turned. It just missed hitting it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you almost wish it would have hit that pad on the top of the hand. Let's listen here. And that also is going to be the last pitch that Irvin throws tonight. Well, the Braves trying to rally here in the 6th, and Aaron a hit batter, 2 on, nobody out. And P.J. Poulin, who actually was an opener yesterday but only faced a couple of hitters, now out of the bullpen.
So the ERA pretty good. You can see the walks, though they are not. The fastball sits right at 90 as both a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. Sweeper and changeup, but you can eliminate the changeup for the lefties. He has not thrown one left on left all year long.
Baldwin 1 for 2. That gets past Millis. Yaz to third, Acuna to second. The Braves have a golden opportunity here in the 6th.
Well, right now the Washington Nationals trying to hand it to the Atlanta Braves, and that one is one that has to be caught there by Millis. And really, it's a change on turning over a little bit, but he's expecting that ball to run back. But what Poulin did was he cut his sinker so it went the other way, and he did not adjust accordingly.
Baldwin, it's fair. Past House at third base, and it's going to give the Braves the lead. Baldwin now 21 driven in on the season. It is 4-3 Atlanta.
This guy is such a good hitter, but to watch what he does against lefties is where he really does impress here. You're going to get a sinker. It's 89. It's got a little bit of run, but you can see it there middle. But so consistent here for Drake Baldwin that he never tries to get too big. Look how deep that ball is, right? He lets it travel, takes it the other way, hits it firm, and picks up 2 more RBIs.
Left on left, no problem for the Braves catcher. And now Matt Olson, who last time up launched it over the center field wall for a 2-run homer.
There's no doubt in my mind that there are organizations around the game that analytically would tell you, I don't know about having Drake Baldwin bat second against lefties and having Matt Olson right behind him, but understanding really who the player is what has gotten us to this point.
Olson high and deep to right. Wood is back at the wall, and he reaches up to grab it. And Baldwin will move to third base. Matt Olson just missing his second of the night. And James Wood out there at 6'7", making that catch at the wall.
He thought maybe he had a chance, and then as soon as he kind of started circling back there a little bit, he figured it was going to be just short. But another good-looking swing from Matt Olson against the left-on-left sweeper.
Riley, as the infield creeps in a bit. So the Braves got down 2-0. Tied it at 2. Nationals got up 3-2. Now the Braves are in front for the first time, and a chance to make it a 2-run lead with Baldwin 90 feet away.
And the big one, right, taking advantage of the mistakes that the Washington Nationals have made, an error to start things off, and you don't let them off the hook, and they haven't.
Poulin the lefty, 1-1 pitch. Riley sends it over towards Wiley. But Wiley is okay.
These are some really comfortable swings right now for these Braves hitters. It's a low strikeout rate that you get from Poulin, and again, he's not overpowering, so you get pretty comfortable, and these guys have been letting it fly.
Saw Acuna over there still talking about the hit by pitch, looking at his hand. Seems to be in good spirits, so hopefully it won't be anything that lingers and takes him out of the lineup. Full count. By the way, for Baldwin tonight, game number 147 in a Braves uniform, going back to his rookie season last year, and he is now over 100 career RBI already. That was number 100 and 101 for him. Payoff pitch. Riley lifts it foul.
It was interesting there. He only has the one breaking ball, the sweeper, and you can see he kind of presets it in his hand.
And gets ready for another 3-2. And it misses inside, and it's a walk.
It's a good call here, right? I think the first reaction was, oh, did this catch the inside part of the plate? It didn't. Would have been most interested if Austin Riley would have challenged that, because he had some confidence as he stepped back, but we've seen some pitches in the last game where thought he could challenge, and he hasn't done it yet all year.
And that's going to be it for Poulin. The Nats back to their bullpen here in the 6th. Let's take a look at our Toyota trends. This is the last 7 series. The Braves have really owned the matchup when facing the Nationals, and hoping that that continues tonight.
Good numbers all the way across the board, including that plus 27 run differential. They've cashed it in when they've had chances with runners in scoring position. Remember, a couple of years ago, the Nats pitched the Braves pretty well, and it looked like their young pitching group was kind of moving in the right direction. They had a setback and didn't quite continue that development. And again, that's why there's part of this that feels like they're starting over in Washington, D.C.
The starters have struggled, even though Irvin was pretty good tonight. But now the bullpen, and it's on to Brad Lord as he checks over on Riley.
A big part of this is getting Ozzie turned around, right? Because he is back as far as what he has done against lefties. The swing has looked really good. Poulin struggling there a little bit. Not a lot of swing and miss, as we've talked about, and not a lot of swing and miss here either. This is the lowest strikeout rate bullpen in baseball here in D.C.
Ozzie with a swing and a miss, 0-1. Ozzie out to left. Lyle in. It will bounce in front of him and bring Baldwin home. The rally continues. It's 5-3.
The value of contact and putting the ball in play, even when it's not a high exit velocity fastball with some run, that is away. Ozzie stays on it just long enough. We've seen this with some consistency here lately from this team. Find a way to get the ball in play, and good things will happen.
That lineup depth for Atlanta just continues to come to play. And now here's Harris. But as we said, the Braves taking advantage of errors and mistakes on the side of the Nationals. That certainly is the case here in the 6th. It began with the error by Nunez, the hit batter, wild pitch, and all of a sudden the Braves have the lead and looking for more. Out into center field for Harris. Here comes Riley. 6-3.
Jump on the first strike you see here, and from that arm angle, the slider for a left-handed hitter is just not going to be nearly as effective. You see it really well. That one did not have very much break on it. Michael hits a nice hard low there. A little help maybe from the mound to get it to the outfield quicker, but still 107, man. Money Mike hits the ball hard consistently.
He certainly did in Philly when he was 6 for 7 with a couple of homers. That's his first hit tonight. It produces a run. And now Dom Smith. Tapper back to the mound. Almost thrown into center field. Smith beat it out. A break for the Braves and another run home.
A good example of something that doesn't show up in an error but is a mistake, right? If you're the Nationals, you feel like you've got to turn this double play and get out of this inning, and they're unable to do it. And you're going to see, first of all, the slow chopper. Lord's in a good position. He throws it from that lower arm angle, but it's wide. And so C.J. Abrams has got to try to adjust, and just enough time for Dom Smith now to beat it out.
And Abrams having to re-grip that baseball. Probably the difference in addition to that wide throw. And now all of a sudden the Braves, who were down in this game 2-0 and 3-2, have scored 5 here in the 6th. Braves coming into tonight with a 5-game win streak, tied for the most wins in baseball, and now with a 4-run cushion. Another chance for Abrams. It eats him up, and the inning continues. Took a big hop right at Abrams at the last second.
Well, this one you can put down as an error, right? You really couldn't do it with the last one, and it looked like it jumped up on him here a little bit quickly to C.J. Abrams. That wasn't even really close to his glove. It jumped over the whole thing. Call it now 2 errors and a misplay in this inning for the Washington Nationals, plus the wild pitch.
And
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, what just popped off?
Is that a thumb guard? Or a card? Some kind of
that's
illegal transmitter? What do we got?
That's from last year when Millis broke that finger on catcher's interference. So he's protecting that. He had to have surgery on that finger. It ended his season prematurely. But the Braves have batted around. Remember, it was Yaz who started this thing when he grounded to second, and that forced the throwing error by Nunez. Long run, but no play there for Brady House.
How about from a time standpoint, too, here for Bryce Elder? Remember, we talked about the quick inning that he had, the 6-pitch quick turnaround. You got to get right back out there, and I think he'll take it all day long when you get this kind of run support. It's been a minute or two here.
Two 2-1 here from Lord. Well, it's still early, April 20th, but it really does have that feel of 2023, where every time the Braves get behind early, you just say, no problem. And the offense is going to pick up the rest of the crew, and it's been the story again tonight.
And technically 6 comeback wins already this season, right? At any point that you're down, then you come back and win it. If they hang on here, this would be considered a 7th already early in the season.
Payoff pitch to Yastrzemski. We'll do it again. Everything going right for the Braves. Meanwhile, the Phillies, they're down 4-0 already in the second against Chicago. The Mets off tonight, but they have lost 11 in a row, and The Braves a full 5-game lead in the East.
It's been amazing to see what is going on in this division right now. We just saw it firsthand with the Phillies. We'll get a look at the Mets here soon enough, but it has been a disaster for them in Queens right now.
It's really given the Braves that opportunity to get this early cushion. You look across every other division, no leader has more than a half-game advantage. And the Braves coming into tonight a full 5 games up. Yastrzemski lines it out towards Wood. He will back up to take it. But 5 in the 6th for Atlanta, and Baldwin with a huge hit.
And keeping it 100 and 101 here. He talked about the career of Drake Baldwin. Century man. I'll be the bad boy.
Nick Green alongside Peter Moylan in the Rooms to Go lounge. And Peter, Bryce Elder had a tough first inning, but settled in nicely.
I think it has 100% to do with the cold weather out there, but I think he's bounced back nicely.
Let's get you back out to Washington.
Well, back here in D.C., 7-3, 5 runs for the Braves in the top of the 6th. That's the good news. The bad news, and we hope this is just everyone being cautious, but Ronald Acuna Jr. has been removed from the game. Eli White will take over in right field.
Yeah, I think based on what we saw with Ronald while he was still in the dugout and seemed like he was still having a good time and that the hand was okay, and you saw him kind of swinging a bat a little bit. And listen, there's still a lot of game left, but it probably makes some sense if you're kind of borderline on it, night like tonight, after already getting hit twice, to go ahead and make that change.
Of course, if we get any official updates, whether the Braves will release those before the end of the game, we would pass them along to you. But like we said, hopefully just a cautious move on a cold night with the Braves up 7-3. Liner, and there is Ozzie Albies. Quick message right now from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Well, you said it for Bryce Elder.
Nope.
About a half hour in between pitches. He gets House to line out, but then he hits C.J. Abrams.
Yep. And listen, I'm okay with it. And whether or not you think it was an intentional, that's fine. But you better be careful as far as if it's going to get heated or not. And C.J. Abrams ultimately has to make that choice. Now the umpires are getting together, and they have to decide whether or not they believe that there was intent. Now there was no warnings issued, so they can make the call right now if they want. They certainly, the idea of an injection here would be a no for me. But if they want to issue warnings now, I'd be okay. I mean, I think it's probably the move. I hope they're not talking about injecting Bryce Elder. Yep, just warnings.
Just warnings. Home plate umpire Eric Backus. So if you're just tuning in, Ronald Acuna got hit by a pitch in the 4th inning, then again in the 6th. He's been removed from the game, and then this from Elder towards Abrams' backside.
Yeah, listen, if there's a way to do it, that is the way to do it. I kind of wonder, right? The game has changed a little bit over the years, and I can appreciate it. And Bryce Elder's never going to tell you that he did that on purpose, and maybe he didn't do it on purpose. But for me, that's the move. I know the game has changed a lot. You don't want anybody getting hurt, but you can't have your star getting hit twice either. I know there's multiple stars here, and Blake Butera wants to kind of have this conversation, wondering why are there warnings. Your guy hit same guy twice, and he's now not in the game anymore because of it. That's why. And so, sure, maybe your guy gets hit too, but this is the way it's always worked. You kind of leave it as it is, and hopefully Ronald's not hurt, and clearly C.J. Abrams is not.
That's crew chief Laz Diaz, along with home plate umpire Eric Backus, talking to Blake Butera.
So let's go. Your time is up. It's cold. You got a pitcher sitting out there. There could be a strategy behind this as well, but it's a pretty simple explanation. Your guy hit their guy twice. They came back and hit yours. Now we feel like there potentially could have been some intent, and so we issue warnings.
Of course, Braves fans certainly remember what happened on the last road trip out in Anaheim between Reynaldo Lopez and Jorge Soler. That was a big dust up. Pretty mild here and tame so far tonight. Abrams takes off for second, and he steals the bag.
The worst thing that can happen in these situations is that as a teammate, I'm not saying Ronald will feel this way, but that you don't have his back, right? And guys, it used to be a little bit more vocal. They'd be louder maybe in the clubhouse or in the dugout after the fact on the team plane about not feeling like they've been protected. That it certainly has happened over the years. And you never want to be that guy. You never want to be the pitching staff that has made one of your position players feel that way.
Elder now at 80 pitches. Lyle had the homer in the 4th inning off of Elder. Big cut there at the 4-seam fastball. Softly to shallow center. Mateo out to take it. Yeah, you were part of the game when it was just different. And I would say even before you played, it was even more different, right?
100%.
And now you've covered it as you've seen those things kind of change. But like you said, if there was a way to do it, if you are going to try to defend it, I think Elder probably did it as well as you could have.
And I don't look at Irvin necessarily as doing it with intent, but it almost doesn't matter, right? When it happens twice and the guy's got to come out of the game and Ronald had a reaction, I think he's owed that from a teammate.
Riley is there. He fires across and he throws it high over the glove of Olson, and that's going to score a run. So just when it looked like Elder was going to be done with a 6th, it's now 7-4.
And just the second error this season for Austin Riley, who has been so good over there. He made a huge play in last night's ball game, and this looked relatively routine. He had the nice high hop, but the throw just took off, and not even Matt Olson could get to it.
So Abrams, who gets hit by that Elder pitch, steals a bag, ends up coming around to score, and now here is Tana. Three errors in this ball game, all of them in the 6th, the 2 in the top half that opened the floodgates for the Braves, and now that Riley error here in the bottom of the inning. Nobody throwing right now in that Braves bullpen. Elder trying to get through 6. Riley hoping there's space. There is, and he's got it. The Nats get 1 back. Braves by 3 after 6.
It was fun.
Our Whataburger, what a play. It was the 6th inning. Braves got 5, changed the complexion of this game, and see that note at the bottom. 129 runs scored for the Braves this year, tied for the most in baseball.
The offense has been great, and so for those guys, some fancy catch-up.
Eli White, his first at bat here tonight, taking over for Acuna.
Which, by the way, Ronald was on deck, right? So he probably was going to take his at bat if that inning had continued, which I think, again, is an encouraging sign here. And when we get the news, we'll get it and certainly share it. But hopefully nothing significant. And I don't think it will be.
Heads up over there. Everybody's okay. That hit the railing of the Nationals dugout. on the two-seamer, White goes down swinging, one away. Quick message from Alpha Insurance.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll be there knocking it out of the park. Getting you back home safe and sound. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
And Baldwin towards Young. And 2 down.
This guy's got a good two-seam fastball, man. I used it there against Drake Baldwin. Same pitch to Eli White, and it's got some life to it for sure.
And the stretch tonight with Nick and Peter is fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. In the air, deep left for Olson. He just missed another one. He's hit one and then just missed 2 more. He's smiling about it. Braves up 3 as we head to the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Peter Moylan, Nick Green here with you. Peter, it took this offense a little bit to get going. They have had a nice night. Matt Olson's home run in the 3rd or 4th inning was a pretty big one to tie the game at 2.
And the fun thing for me is what pitch it was. It was a sinker, down and away. Somehow he went down and got this thing and elevated it. You wanted to have
I'll tell you how. You go down with your legs. You get the ball up in the air.
If it was that easy, Nick, you would have done it throughout your career. But Matty's been doing it all year long. He's basically carried a 900 OPS from the first game of the year. The power numbers are there to all sides of the field, and for me, he's going to have a big, big year.
No, he's been impressive, and when you think about just being consistent, he's that every day. We know he plays every single day, but Peter, he's hitting 20 of 23 as well.
It's huge.
Yeah, he's been really good for the Braves. Let's get you back out to Nationals Park after a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
Braves with a 7-4 lead. Bryce Elder continues to work into the bottom of the 7th. And Nick and Peter, they were just talking about Matt Olson. I had a chance to catch up with Matt earlier today, and I know we spoke about his Little League days a couple of nights ago, but I asked him about when he got drafted and how close he was to going to college at Vanderbilt versus signing professionally with the A's. And look, he was a first-round pick. It was pretty clear he was going to sign, but the one condition that his mother Lee gave him said, well, if you're going to go play baseball, again, his mother, a lifetime teacher, she said, you're going to have to be a Hall of Famer, or else you got to go back and get your degree. And I talked to Matt today, and he said, you know, I kind of like that it died down, but she actually brought it up on a phone call this morning.
Well, go ahead and add a little bit more pressure. Why not to Matt Olson? And so clearly that was on his mind, and why he was trying to hit 3 home runs tonight and get a little bit closer maybe to that Hall of Fame bid.
That consecutive games played streak over 800. We told you about that last week. And he just continues to hit the ball so well in that Braves uniform. 5th year now in Atlanta since that time in Oakland.
So Matt Olson went 47th in that draft when he was taken in the 1st round. And you kind of go back and look at it now. That was a pretty good draft in 2012, but just strictly from a WAR standpoint, you've got the 3rd highest WAR from all those first rounders right now. Carlos Correa and Corey Seager just edging him out. Byron Buxton right behind him. And then Max Fried. That was a good draft. I mean, you sit there and go back and look at that 1st round. There are some really good big leaguers there.
Elder starting off the bottom of the 7th nicely. He gets Millis to swing through that slider. That's now 6 Ks for the right-hander.
And CJ, you were talking about that draft, but if Matt hadn't decided to sign and gone to college, would have been teammates with Walker Buehler and Dansby Swanson. They're both in his recruiting class. So he had good options either way.
Yeah, he made the right choice, no doubt.
Most extra base hits, if you go back to May 2nd of 2021 when that streak started for Matt Olson, and he's behind some pretty good players in Ohtani and Judge. And Matt Olson leads baseball this year in extra base hits, with 16 of them after his home run tonight.
This would be big here if Bryce Elder can continue to get deep in this game. A pitch count climbing up, right? 95. You got the action in the bullpen. Dylan Lee, Robert Suarez, both threw back-to-back days to finish out that series in Philly. But the 21 pitches from Raisel Iglesias to finish things out yesterday. Remember, he kind of slept on his shoulder and was, weren't sure availability-wise. 7 complete would be fantastic tonight from Bryce Elder. He's already done a really nice job of bouncing back after the couple of runs early.
It's Bummer who is throwing in the Braves bullpen. And this is a season high as far as pitch count goes for Elder, number 98. And Yastrzemski over in the gap to cut it off.
The thing about these kind of nights when it's cold, you almost don't know. You can't feel the fatigue the same when it's really warm. Your body actually feels okay, and you don't have that kind of tiredness, but it looks like Walt's going to make a decision.
Yeah, with a power lefty and James Wood coming up, he's going to go with Bummer with 2 down here in the 7th.
Good night tonight from Bryce Elder here in Washington. He came in leading the National League in ERA, and he did not disappoint. The slider looking really sharp tonight. 3 of his 6 strikeouts came looking. It's that good front 2-seam fastball that he had. We've seen that to that glove side a couple of times here tonight. He ends up going 6 2/3, and what a night it was for Bryce Elder as he leaves with a lead again.
He is our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life impact player. Only 3 hits. The 2 in the first inning, then that homer solo shot to Lyle by Lyle in the 4th. And that was all against Elder. He leaves with the Braves on top 7-4. Now Bummer will try to get James Wood in the 7th.
So by your 5th start of the year, if your ERA were to double, you might get a little bit concerned. But when you came in with a .77, not a big deal, up to 1.50 now for Bryce Elder.
It's been such a tremendous start to the year for Bryce. And Bummer is facing Wood, who is 0 for 3 tonight.
Probably happy to get kind of a clean inning, or at least nobody on base here for Aaron Bummer.
Right back where it came from. Bummer does his job. 7 in the books here on a chilly night in D.C. Get excited, Star Wars fans. April 24th. That is the night. Specialty ticket package. Matt Olson Mandalorian bobblehead and a ticket to the game. Braves.com/promos. If you want to see what it looks like, we're about to show you. And how cool is that? That even comes off.
The helmet comes off, so it's Matt Olson underneath.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is with Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda in the sidecar.
Does the sword come out on the back? Because that really would be the fun one for kids.
No, sword doesn't come out.
Probably a smart idea.
But how awesome is that?
That's fun.
April 24th at Truist Park. Come and get yours.
All right, so now I'm being told, isn't that a lightsaber? I would say that's incorrect. Listen, I will call myself slightly Star Wars ignorant. I watched the first 3 and even saw them in the movie theater. But it's certainly not a lightsaber. I mean, it's like a fork.
Yeah, that's not a lightsaber. And it's not intended to be a lightsaber.
How many total were there? Were there 9 or 6 Star Wars? 9,
Boy,
right?
I have no idea.
I think 9. So at least I'm a third of the way there. I'm getting advice from somebody who's never seen any of them.
Gretchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a trident.
It's a trident.
That'd be fun for kids if it came off, if you have a sibling.
As you can tell, we're big fans. Let's bring in an expert. Wiley Ballard is our movie buff.
All right, so there are 9 official episodes.
Okay.
So there's 3 trilogies, and then there's some
fancy.
I don't know if you want to call them appendices or what, but you've got Rogue One, which I personally think is the best of the new Star Wars movies. But no, there's 9 official episodes, and then some other ones, additional. I don't know, spin-offs.
Really?
I'm struggling with the word for them, but they're just, it's.
All right, so did you see
universe.
Have you seen the older ones, like the ones that were around when I was a kid?
Oh yeah. No, I've seen episodes 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, 3, and then I wasn't crazy about 7, so actually I bailed.
Checked out.
I bailed. Yeah.
Do you have the bed sheets?
No.
Oh. Have you ever seen Lobster, Wiley?
The Lobster with
Yes.
Colin Farrell?
Well, yes.
I have.
Okay.
Let me tell you, PG, just because you didn't like it doesn't mean it's not great cinema, all right?
I think the term I used was different. It was different.
Great art is sometimes different.
Shoestring catch out there by James Wood, 2 down. Wiley recommended this movie to me last year because, I was trying to expand my horizons a little bit, and you go to Wiley for that. And he said, watch The Lobster with Colin Farrell. And there's a reason not many folks have heard of this movie. I wouldn't let kids watch it.
Okay.
And I don't know that I would let adults watch it either. It was a different one.
So you're saying the idea, we've been kind of throwing some ideas around for Braves Vision, other content and things you'd like to have. A dinner and a movie with Wiley?
With Wiley,
it's
just
not
like
gonna make
the old TBS days.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it'd be fun. And certainly would get a good audience, but what if the movies are bad recommendations by Wiley?
I think they'd just be entertained by Wiley in the studio. I remember those promos back in the day. That was just priceless. And there were a lot of bad movies too. It would be like 2-2 and they 2-2 in the 6th, and they'd hand skip a promo. And don't forget, dinner and a movie later. Danielle in a love triangle. Will she get out of it? It's like, what? Where are we going here? What's going on? Oh, 2-1 to Harris. 2-2. I'm guessing you've never seen The Lobster, CJ.
I've never heard of The Lobster. I've eaten
I
lobster.
have not either. I have as well. Looks like it's going to stay 7-4. 1-2-3, top of the 8th. It'll be Kenley for Atlanta. There's the Washington monument that has stood in that spot since 1884. 7-4 Braves as we get a quick message from Truist.
Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist. Learn how knowledge and care can work for you.
Star Wars fans coming for CJ
yeah.
and I. It's not Baby Yoda. It is Grogu that is joining Matt Olson on that bobblehead as Tyler Kinley joins us out of the bull.
So Braves Country's awesome interacting during the game. It's been a little bit of a quiet night. It's a Monday night. But then as soon as we botched all the Star Wars talk, I kind of looked over. And, when you get the notifications on X, they tell you how many you have. But it maxes at 20. Again, been a really slow night. And then all of a sudden I look over, 20 plus with the plus sign next to it. I was like, we messed some things up for sure. And we are being corrected accordingly. And that's fine. I'm not above it. I'm not above correction.
But we don't mess up, CJ.
Yeah. It's the Ambin Phase Pulse Blaster, by the way, so I'm being told. Maybe that's
the weapon?
Yeah.
The what?
Ambin, A-M-B-A-N. I could have botched that. Phase Pulse Blaster. That's Din's weapon in Mandalorian. Of course, my bad.
Sure, yeah. It's fierce.
Not a try down.
Fighting off, not Grogu's. They don't want to fight off. What are the soldiers? Come on, Wiley.
Stormtroopers?
Stormtroopers. Yes. There we go.
Come on, BG. Storm? That's like 101 right there, man.
You know,
that's what you get for making fun of the lobster. That's full circle karma.
Yeah, Wiley, I wouldn't pass Star Wars 101, clearly. I wouldn't pass
It's an entry-level
001.
class.
Yeah. Slowly towards Mateo, going to have to hurry. He does. Nice sidearm throw to get Garcia.
We talk about the depth of the bench here, and this is where it shows up even on the defensive side. Mateo over at short tonight does a nice job. Good exchange, strong throw. Made a great play earlier in this game. He's been a nice addition here.
Braves 5 outs away from a 6th straight win. House swing and a miss here against Kinley. House had one of those hits back in the first inning. Since then, a strikeout and a line out to Ozzie. Our Braves PR crew had a good note today on Kinley, and you've referenced this before, CJ, but you go back to Kinley's Braves debut at the end of last July, a .79 ERA, and he often flies under the radar, but he has been such a tremendous pickup for Atlanta.
Well, not only has he been great, but just it's the value of having a guy that could set up and probably even could close for some teams. But with this club and the way that this bullpen is set up, of course, normally it's going to be Robert Suarez and then Raisel Iglesias, but both Suarez and Lee back-to-back games for them. So maybe you try to give them the night off and you can take an arm like this and put him in the 8th inning of a tight game.
And he does things like that. Swing and a miss. He gets House 2 down.
And not surprising, it is on the Tyler Kinley slider. It is a good one. It has been dominant since he has put on this Braves uniform. Good downward action at the very bottom of the zone.
Two away, and now Abrams. Sword there to start out the at-bat. Braves.tv is here. New way to stream Braves games. No local blackouts. You can watch it live or on demand. So if you're not watching via Braves.tv now, you want to go that way. It's less than 70 cents a game. 0-2.
So how about that? And we saw it a little bit the other night too from Tyler Kinley, breaking out that curveball just a little bit more, right? You got to think about the slider. You got to be ready for the slider, and then you get the curveball, which got a little bit more break than the slider. Very similar action, a little bit slower. Tyler Kinley seems to pick the right spots and when to use that curveball.
He threw it again, and Abrams able to get a small piece of it. Fastball way up. 1-2 here to C.J. Abrams. '15th pitch of the bottom of the 8th for Tyler Kinley. And he got him swinging. It's the curveball. Back-to-back strikeouts. And a 1-2-3-8 for the right-hander.
It's the spin doctor out there, first with the slider and now with the curveball to finish off the Alpharetta native.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. And by Rooms to Go. Buy the piece, save a little. Buy the rooms, save a lot.
Going to the top of the ninth, Ronald Acuna Jr., if you're with us earlier, was removed after being hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. Here's a look at it, and it got his left hand. We have received some more news. He was x-rayed, and the x-rays came back negative. He is listed as day-to-day. So, guys, I think that is a positive outcome.
Boy, absolutely.
It is, yeah, big time. And who knows, maybe say day by day, perhaps you give Ronald a day tomorrow. The Braves don't have their next off day until a week from now, which is the 27th. And with this 4-game series, you do have the day game at the end of this one, but maybe things change as far as how Walt was kind of looking at when you were going to give guys a day. He's talked about rest, and so this is an opportunity maybe to do that.
Dom Smith, he's put a few good swings on that baseball tonight, but he sends it out to Wood here for 1 out in the top of the ninth. So we'll continue to hope that it stays that way with Ronald. You know, sometimes there's nothing on the x-ray, and then they look the next day after it hurts and there is something, but at least right now it's all good news for Acuna.
And Julian Fernandez in, and something I missed today. They're actually down, I say down, to 4 lefties in that bullpen. I thought it was 5. But they sent out one of their lefties in Andrew Alvarez today. Julian Fernandez is in and now pitching here for the Nats.
And missing to Mateo. They got him from the Dodgers last August, claiming him off waivers. You can see pretty live arm, big guy out there on the mound.
So we had a couple of games last year, 4 games total, 1 in LA and then 3 here with the Nats, and then in 21 he was with the Colorado Rockies. So a few years in between those big league appearances for him, and now back in the big leagues.
6'6", 230 is the right-hander, and he walks Jorge Mateo. A word right here from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's just dropped a whole new line of dry rubs, and they're not playing around. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Raisel Iglesias, he did pitch last night, talked about that. He's getting ready right now for the Braves. But the issue where Iglesias slept on his shoulder wrong. So the fastball wasn't fully there last night, but it was also a cold night in Philly.
It was, and clearly no concern, right? Because if there was, he probably would not be pitching here this evening.
Pyop's also getting ready, so this will be score dependent.
Yes. Aren't we all score dependent really at the end of the day, and how our mood is? It's usually based on the score of the game, and get one more across the board, and perhaps Pyomps then will get the opportunity, and you can give Iggy that day off.
Well, this game, speaking of the score, it really switched to the 6th. That's when the Braves got the 5 runs to take their first lead, and they've had that lead ever since. How many do you think are left in the ballpark right now? 5,000?
Yeah, so they announced 12, just over 12. Probably that was paid at 10, so I don't think everybody showed up necessarily. So I don't know. Maybe they were at the high end, maybe 9. What do you think? That were here?
Yeah. They were shy at 10. Check down. And Chris Siegel says Yastrzemski went. Weather's supposed to get better Wednesday. Tomorrow still supposed to be pretty chilly here in DC. High of 60, low of 34 tomorrow, but then 70 on Wednesday.
Ooh, and then the day game, so that'll help. So really 2 chilly nights we got to deal with, right?
Well, day game Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Thursday.
Yeah, and that's 75, so we're liking the sound of that. Payoff pitch coming to Yastrzemski. Ground ball, and it is off of Abrams again. It squirts out into right center. Mateo, who was moving on the play, stops at third.
That probably should have been an inning-ending double play, and another mistake here. Second error of the night for C.J. Abrams, and they continue to add on to their already league lead when it comes to the errors for the Nationals. You have the opportunity there to create the hop the way you want it to be, and for C.J. Abrams, probably got to get a little bit closer to that baseball. You don't want the mid hop, right? You either want the short one or the higher one.
It's the second time that last hop has given him issues tonight. So they are at the corners. Braves looking for some insurance. Here's Eli White, who replaced Acuna a couple of innings ago. Lays down a bunt, and that will get an insurance run home, and Eli White escapes the tag. Now Garcia wants him to challenge it. We'll see. It doesn't look like they're going to. I mean, Butera gave a thumbs up.
That's the great speed of Eli White. He hangs in there. It's a really good bunt, and it does not appear that there was any contact. That's a great job by Eli to avoid that tag. No. Did they get him? What do you think?
Close.
It's for me in late. I take the chance, right? I mean, might as well.
I thought they would just for that reason. You're in the ninth inning here. You can't take it home with you, as we like to say.
But this, they did not charge C.J. Abrams with an error on that. Unless he'll take the hits for the Braves all day long, right? They came in leading Major League Baseball in hits, but
yeah, that's a tough one to justify. Yeah. I know it took a little bit of a bad hop there, but the Braves now up 4. You've got runners at first and second, and here is Baldwin.
And so that means it looks like down in that Braves bullpen that Iglesias won't go in the game, and we'll see Payamps instead.
We haven't had any ABS challenges tonight.
No, and I think I haven't checked in a while. I know that's like a few days ago. There was only one game where there wasn't a challenge. Well, I think he's still tossing down there. Interesting. Non-save situation at this point with the 4-run lead.
Pass Millis. Runners at second and third.
That's a changeup that got cut really bad and kind of acted like a slider. And again, as a catcher back there, and a couple of pitches that have gotten away, it's because you're seeing Nats pitchers miss not only with location, but which way that ball's supposed to be moving.
Infield in. Chance for Baldwin to bust it open. It took off the mask of Millis. Catcher on catcher crime.
That's up to 3 games total where there have not been ABS challenges so far this season.
And none yet tonight with 5 outs to go. Again, the payoff pitch. It is low. Baldwin down to first. Bases loaded now. And Matt Olson strolling to the plate. And that will get the young pitching coach, Simon Matthews, just 30 years old, out for a meeting on the mound.
So a lot of times in these situations, right, where you have a pitcher with limited experience having a hard time finding the zone, you want to read the body language too, and you can see that things are kind of racing right now for Fernandez. He's got his back against the wall. Matt Olson has had some really good swings tonight, of course, including that home run that he hit back in the 4th inning.
That was to straightaway center. Then he hit one to the top of the wall in the 6th, and then one to the track in left in the 7th. Nats bullpen quiet. It is just Fernandez or bust here the rest of the way. Braves fans have stayed around, making their voices heard. 2-1. Olson drives it out to center. It is caught by Young, but it will produce another run. The throw to third. Everybody is safe. And the Braves have a 5-run lead in the 9th.
Well, that'll play certainly for Matt Olson, a sac fly to get a little bit more space here for Payamps, who likely is coming in this game for the bottom of the 9th inning. It's been a good night at the plate, really, for up and down the line, but for Matt Olson in particular, some great swings this evening.
3 runs driven in. And yes, Iglesias has sat down. It is all about Payamps now with his insurance here in the 9th inning. Riley takes a strike. Braves came into tonight with so many marks that are the best in baseball. We told you about a lot of them at the top of the broadcast, but one of those, run differential. And if you factor in tonight, they're now plus 62 on this young season. It's been such a tremendous start. And looking to add to it tonight. If the Braves win, it'll be a 16-7 record. And remember, the Braves were 10-7 as they look for their 6th straight victory here this evening. Called strike, no argument from Riley, but the Braves get a couple more. Payamps will look for the final 3 outs when we return. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. By Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. And also by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. A lot of reasons to fist bump tonight.
Check the ring.
Got to be careful with the ring and the bling. Hey, Brian Snitker, this Saturday, the 25th, he is going into the Braves Hall of Fame, and certainly deservedly so. There's going to be a special pregame ceremony on the field for Snit. More than 10 Braves Hall of Famers are going to participate in the induction ceremony. So get there. Braves.com/promos, Saturday, April 25th.
That is going to be a great day at the ballpark. We look forward to broadcasting that game. We're even going to drag Frenchie out for the game. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. The Phillies are in town. More reason to come out and support the Atlanta Braves. Well, Payamps is on. You and I were talking earlier. He hasn't thrown since the 11th, so a 9-day rest for him.
And he's got 2 jobs here, right? And those jobs are, one, to put up a 0 and get the Braves the win. His other job is to keep Raisel Iglesias on that bench in the bullpen. You don't want him not to get up again if he gets in any trouble, and unfortunately it becomes kind of a save situation. Then Iggy would probably come into this game. So Walt really hoping that Payamps can have a clean one. And each of his last 3 outings had only been a third of an inning. So not only all those days off, but just hasn't thrown that much this season.
He's facing Dalen Lyle, who had a homer back in the 4th. And this guy can really swing the bat. High contact rate, pretty hard hitter, line drive hitter with good speed. But he hits a soft little blooper towards Harris, and Harris runs in to grab it. Jacob Young. That one gets away from Baldwin. It misses 1-0. Braves trailed 2-0 after 3, but the offense came to life on a cold night, and they need 2 more outs to make it 6 wins in a row, to make it 16 wins on the season. Swing and a miss. 93 takes care of Young. 2 down.
Good life on this fastball. You mentioned the velocity, but it's got a little giddy up on it as well. Good job at the very top of the zone to get that swing and miss.
The 2 other teams in baseball that also have 15 wins, the Dodgers and the Padres. Padres off today. Dodgers beating the Rockies right now early. But at least for the moment, with a win here, the Braves will have the most victories in baseball. Tena is 0 for 3. Harris ready for this one. He's got it. Braves win. 6 in a row for Atlanta.
That's a great job by Payamps to get it done and do it really quickly. No action at all. That's good for Raisel Iglesias. Good for the Braves, and another good night. This team is playing extremely well. The defense showing up again. We saw some really good plays, including the one that we saw from Mateo, and then taking advantage of the mistakes of your opponent. That was a big part of what we saw here tonight.
And the big difference, the 5-run 6. We'll be back to wrap it up from DC in a moment.